Good morning, everyone. It's a joy to stand before you today and speak about something that is truly near and dear to many of our heart's relationships. Relationships are a beautiful gift from God, but they can also be challenging at times. Whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, or even a family bond, we all seek to know if our connections are truly part of God's greater plan for our lives. It's hard to discern whether the relationship we're in is truly aligned with God's will. But today I want to share with you 4 signs that will help you recognize if your relationship is part of God's divine plan. These signs aren't just for romantic partnerships, they apply to all types of relationships in our lives. We all long for peace, especially in our relationships. When we are in a relationship that is aligned with God's plan, one of the first things we notice is a profound sense of peace. This peace is not just about calmness or the absence of conflict. It's a deeper inner peace that transcends our circumstances. It's a peace that fills the soul, a peace that assures us we are exactly where we are meant to be. When God is guiding our relationships, He gives us peace that confirms we are walking the right path, even when the road gets tough. It's this peace that lets us know without a doubt that we are in alignment with His will, and it strengthens our trust in Him. Peace in this context is not the absence of challenges. In fact, when God is at the center of our relationship, we may encounter difficulties, misunderstandings, and times of uncertainty. But even in the midst of those struggles, there is a deep sense of knowing that we are not alone. It's the peace that comes from knowing that God is with us, leading us, and working all things together for our good. This peace isn't just for the easy moments, it's for the times when we're faced with decisions, doubts, or conflicts. It's in those moments that we can lean on that inner peace and trust that God is guiding us through. When we are uncertain about the future, when things aren't going as planned, and when the challenges seem insurmountable, God's peace is a comfort. It's a reminder that He's still in control, even when we can't see the way forward. God's peace guards our hearts and minds, helping us to stay focused on His purpose instead of getting caught up in anxiety or fear. It's the peace that reassures us that no matter what happens in the relationship, we are right where we need to be. It enables us to look beyond the temporary obstacles and to see the bigger picture, God's picture for our lives. This peace doesn't come from our own efforts or from the people around us, it comes from God. It's a divine peace, one that surpasses our understanding. When our relationship is part of God's plan, we begin to experience this peace in ways we never imagined. Even when things are not perfect, we know that God is leading us to a greater purpose. This peace doesn't mean that everything will be without struggle, but it does mean that we can face the struggles with confidence. We know that God is in control and that He is guiding us through every challenge. This peace allows us to let go of the need for control. Often we try to fix things ourselves, relying on our own strength and understanding. But when we trust that God is guiding the relationship, we release the burden of trying to make everything perfect. Instead of forcing outcomes or controlling every detail, we learn to trust God with the journey. This peace brings a sense of surrender, allowing us to let go of anxiety and trust that God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating everything according to His plan. When we are able to rest in this peace, we are free to move forward in faith, knowing that God is at work in ways we may not always see, but will always feel. There's a special kind of peace that comes when we realize that our relationship is part of something much bigger than ourselves. It's the peace of knowing that our connection with another person is not just for our own benefit, it's part of God's greater purpose. This peace gives us the confidence to trust that the relationship is heading in the right direction. Even if we don't have all the answers, we don't need to worry about the future because God has already mapped out the path. When we surrender to His will and walk in His peace, we are assured that the relationship will unfold as it should. This peace also creates an environment where love and grace can flourish. When there is peace, there is room for forgiveness, patience, and understanding. It becomes easier to overlook small faults, to extend grace, and to embrace one another with the love that God has shown us. In a peaceful relationship, we can focus on building one another up rather than tearing each other down. We are able to support each other in our growth, offer encouragement during tough times, and celebrate each other's victories. The peace that God provides allows us to keep our hearts open and to be a reflection of His love in the relationship. In every relationship, there will be moments when we question whether we are on the right path. But when peace fills our hearts, we are reminded that God is in control. His peace doesn't just guide us, it also anchors us. It's the stillness in our hearts that helps us trust God's timing even when things don't make sense. It's a peace that comes from knowing that God's plan is always better than our own and that His timing is perfect. If you are in a relationship where peace reigns, where you feel a sense of calm even in the storms, where you know that God is in control and guiding you both in, that is a clear sign that it is part of God's plan. Hold on to that peace. Trust in God's perfect will and allow it to lead you both into a future filled with love, growth, and purpose. God's peace is the greatest confirmation that you are walking in His divine plan. Let it guide you every step of the way. When you are in a relationship that is truly aligned with God's plan, you will experience a significant amount of personal and spiritual growth. It's not just about feeling good or enjoying the good times, it's about becoming a better version of yourself. A relationship that is part of God's plan will challenge you in ways that lead to growth. You will become stronger in your faith, deeper in your character, and more focused on the things that truly matter. Relationships are not just about the connection between two people, they are also a means by which God shapes us into who we were always meant to be. One of the first ways you will notice this growth is in your faith. A relationship that is aligned with God's purpose will bring you closer to Him. It will encourage you to seek His will, to pray more, and to trust Him even more deeply. There may be times when you face challenges together, times when things are not going smoothly, when you don't have all the answers, or when you're unsure of the future. In these moments, you will see how your faith grows. You will learn to lean on God more and more, knowing that He has a plan for you both and that He is in control of every situation. When your relationship pushes you to grow in faith, to trust God more completely, and to rely on His guidance, you can be sure that it is part of His plan for your life. As you grow in your faith, you will also experience growth in your character. God often uses relationships to refine us, to smooth out the rough edges, and to mold us into the people we are meant to become. This process of refining is not always easy, but it is always worthwhile. A relationship that is part of God's plan will help you develop qualities such as patience, kindness, humility, and understanding. There may be moments when your partner challenges you in ways that force you to confront your weaknesses and imperfections. These moments of challenge, though difficult, will bring about growth. You will learn to love unconditionally, to forgive deeply, and to put others' needs before your own. As you navigate the ups and downs of the relationship, you will become more Christ-like in your actions and responses. Growth in character is one of the clearest signs that your relationship is part of God's plan. But growth doesn't only happen individually. It happens within the relationship itself. When both individuals are committed to growing together in faith and character, the relationship flourishes. You will find that you support one another's growth, encourage each other to become better, and celebrate each other's victories. You will learn to walk through life hand in hand, not only sharing good times, but also helping each other through the tough seasons. As you both grow together in faith, you will build a strong foundation for the relationship that can withstand any storm. Another powerful sign that your relationship is part of God's plan is the shared vision and purpose that you both have. When two people come together in alignment with God's will, there will always be a shared purpose that is greater than just the relationship itself. This vision will drive you both forward, guiding you through life's challenges, and it will help you stay focused on what truly matters. It's easy to get distracted by the day-to-day demands of life, but when you and your partner have a shared vision for your future, whether that's serving others, building a family, or pursuing a greater cause together, everything you do takes on new meaning. The shared vision doesn't have to be something grand or extraordinary. It can simply be a commitment to living a life that honors God, building a family that reflects His love, or being a source of encouragement and support to each other and those around you. This shared purpose will serve as the foundation for the relationship, reminding you both of why you're together and what you are working toward. It becomes the lens through which you view your life together. When the vision for the relationship is grounded in God's purpose, it gives the relationship direction and focus. Life can get messy at times, and there may be moments of doubt or confusion. But when you both know what you're working toward, when you both have a clear sense of God's calling on your lives individually, and as a couple it provides a sense of security and purpose. You're not just going through the motions, you're on a mission together. This shared purpose unites you both, even in difficult seasons, because you understand that there is something bigger at play. In addition to the vision for your relationship, you will find that this shared purpose drives you to serve others, whether it's through ministry, helping those in need, or simply being a light in your community. A relationship that is part of God's plan will always involve a component of service. Serving others together brings a sense of fulfillment and joy that goes beyond the relationship itself. It strengthens the bond between you and your partner, and it also helps you to focus on something greater than yourselves. When you and your partner share a vision and purpose that aligns with God's will, you will both feel a sense of unity and clarity. This shared purpose becomes a powerful motivator, helping you both make decisions that are in line with God's plan for your lives. When things get tough or when challenges arise, you can remind each other of the greater purpose you're working toward. This shared vision is a constant reminder that your relationship is not just about your own happiness, but about serving God and fulfilling His purpose for your lives. Together, this sense of growth, both in faith and in character, and the shared vision and purpose will provide a solid foundation for your relationship. When these two elements are present, you can be confident that your relationship is part of God's plan. God doesn't bring people together by accident. His purpose for your relationship is greater than just what you see on the surface. He is using your relationship to help you grow, to refine you, and to align you with His will for your life. When you can see these signs, growth in faith and character, and a shared vision and purpose, you can be assured that your relationship is exactly where it is meant to be. Trust in His plan and trust that He is guiding you both toward a future full of blessings, purpose, and fulfillment. When we reflect on relationships and what makes them truly special, one of the most significant signs that a relationship is aligned with God's purpose is the active presence of God within it. A relationship that is part of God's plan is not just about two people coming together, it's about the presence of God weaving through every aspect of the connection. When God is involved in the relationship, there is a constant thread of love, wisdom, and guidance that runs through every decision, every conversation, and every challenge. His presence doesn't just exist on Sundays or when times are good. It's evident in the everyday moments, the small choices, and the deep moments of growth. You know that God is present when you both feel the need to pray together, when you turn to Him for guidance, and when you sense His peace in your decisions. You begin to realize that your relationship is not just built on emotions or earthly desires, but on a deep spiritual connection that brings you both closer to God. The more you involve God in your relationship, the more you see His work in your life, whether it's providing wisdom during times of uncertainty, strengthening your bond during times of difficulty, or blessing your efforts to grow together in love and understanding. God's presence in your relationship isn't always visible in the way we expect. It's not just about grand gestures or miraculous moments. Often it's in the small, quiet things, the way you encourage one another to keep pressing forward, how you forgive one another quickly, or how you uplift each other in prayer during hard times. When God is at the center of a relationship, He works in the quiet spaces, helping you both to grow and evolve in ways that you might not always see, but that you feel deep within. God's presence in the relationship also brings a sense of protection and guidance. There's a reassurance that you are both being led toward a future that aligns with His will. Even when faced with difficult choices, you can have the confidence that as long as you stay close to Him, He will guide your steps and provide the direction you need. This sense of peace and protection that comes from knowing that God is leading you can be a powerful source of strength during challenging seasons. When God is present, you no longer have to navigate the relationship on your own. You are walking with Him every step of the way, and He is working through the relationship to accomplish His purpose. Another sign that your relationship is part of God's plan is that it helps you stay focused on what truly matters. Life has a way of distracting us from our priorities, but a relationship that is rooted in God's purpose brings clarity and a sense of direction. When you are both aligned with God's will, you are able to focus on the things that are truly important: love, service, growth, and fulfilling the purpose He has for your life. Relationships grounded in God's purpose help to filter out distractions and keep you both focused on the bigger picture. This clarity helps you both stay aligned with the values that matter most. Instead of getting caught up in the temporary things of this world, such as status, materialism, or other fleeting desires, you are reminded of the deeper purpose of your relationship. Your love for one another isn't about satisfying selfish wants. It's about serving each other, growing together, and helping each other become the people that God created you to be. When your relationship is focused on fulfilling God's will, you are both able to see beyond your own limited perspective and get a glimpse of the greater purpose that God has in store for you both. This clarity and focus also help you prioritize the health of the relationship. When you understand that the purpose of your relationship is to glorify God and grow together, you approach each challenge with a different mindset. You realize that the trials you face are not obstacles to avoid, but opportunities for growth. When difficulties arise, you don't let them divide you. Instead, you work together to find solutions that strengthen the relationship, keeping your eyes on the goal, growing closer to God and becoming better partners for each other. This focus on God's will for the relationship helps you both to work together in unity, to encourage each other, and to continue growing even in the face of adversity. The third sign that your relationship is part of God's plan is that it is characterized by mutual support and encouragement. God never intended for us to walk alone. He created us for relationships where we can help each other grow, build each other up, and face life's challenges together. A relationship that is part of God's plan will always have a foundation of support. When you are in a relationship where both individuals are committed to encouraging one another, lifting each other up, and providing strength in times of weakness, you can be sure that it's aligned with God's purpose. In God's plan, relationships are meant to be a source of mutual growth and encouragement. It's not about one person carrying the burden for the other, but about supporting each other in a way that makes both people stronger. You can sense God's hand in the relationship when both individuals take time to listen, understand, and help one another grow. When you face challenges, it's not about competing or blaming one another. It's about coming together, leaning on each other, and finding ways to move forward in faith. God's design for relationships is one of collaboration, not competition. In His plan, we are meant to work together for a greater purpose. This means that in a healthy, God-centered relationship, there is always encouragement to grow, to do better, and to support each other in achieving your individual and collective dreams. When both partners are dedicated to lifting each other up, providing wisdom when needed, and offering compassion in times of struggle, the relationship becomes a powerful force for good. Mutual support in relationships also strengthens your faith. You may not always feel strong or confident, but when your partner is there, reminding you of God's promises, praying with you, and encouraging you to keep going, it helps you see the bigger picture. It helps you understand that you are not in this journey alone. The strength you find in each other is a reflection of God's love and His plan for your relationship. In moments of doubt or fear, you can lean on each other and trust that God is there, working through you both to fulfill His purpose. When mutual support is present, it makes it easier to navigate the ups and downs of life. Challenges no longer feel like insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities to lean into each other and trust that God is with you both. With each act of encouragement, with each prayer shared, with each moment of support, you are building a relationship that is strong, unified, and grounded in God's purpose for your lives. In a relationship that is aligned with God's plan, His presence is felt in countless ways through prayer, through mutual support, through shared purpose, and through His divine guidance. These signs are all indicators that the relationship is moving in the right direction and that you are both growing closer to each other and to God. When you feel His presence, experience mutual growth, and find clarity and focus in the relationship, you can be assured that you are walking in alignment with His will. Trust that God is guiding you and continue to support one another in love and encouragement as you walk this journey together. When we enter into relationships, one of the most powerful signs that it is part of God's plan is the deep, undeniable peace that settles in our hearts. Peace, in this sense, is not just the absence of conflict or turmoil, but a deeper sense of calm and assurance that transcends our circumstances. In any relationship, we will face challenges, disagreements, and tough moments, but when the relationship is part of God's design, there is an unshakable peace that reigns even in the middle of the storms. This peace tells you that you're exactly where you need to be, that despite the trials, you are on the right path, and that God's hand is upon your relationship. It's easy to mistake fleeting happiness or the absence of arguments for peace, but real peace goes beyond that. It is a peace that assures you that God is leading you, even when the way seems unclear. When your relationship is part of His plan, that peace will guide every decision you make together. Whether you're faced with major life choices, such as moving or changing careers or smaller daily challenges, that peace will remind you that God is in control. It will help you remain calm when things feel uncertain and will keep you grounded when others try to shake your faith. One of the beautiful things about God's peace is that it isn't dependent on external circumstances. It doesn't rely on everything being perfect in your relationship or on the world around you behaving just as you want it to. This peace, the kind that only God can provide, grows in times of adversity. It allows you to lean on God's understanding and not your own, reassuring you that He is working behind the scenes. This peace will encourage you to trust Him even when the road ahead is not fully visible, and help you to keep going when the challenges seem overwhelming. When you experience this peace, it brings clarity. It allows you to see the truth of the situation, free from the anxiety or fear that might cloud your judgment. With peace, you are able to discern God's will more clearly. It leads you to make decisions in your relationship that are not based on fear or impulse, but rather on the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are walking in God's direction. A relationship that is aligned with God's plan will naturally lead to personal and spiritual growth. Relationships, when done according to God's purpose, are never meant to keep us stagnant. They are meant to help us grow together individually. Relationships are like mirrors. They show us who we truly are, sometimes in ways we don't expect. When a relationship is part of God's plan, you will see your character growing and your faith deepening. You will be challenged and you will be refined. But in that process, you will be shaped into the person God intended you to be. Through every disagreement, every compromise, every joy and hardship, God is working through your relationship to refine you. He uses your relationship to teach you patience, humility, forgiveness, and love. These experiences will help you grow in ways that you may not have grown otherwise. You will be pushed to step out of your comfort zone and learn how to love in ways that reflect God's love for us. You will learn to forgive more easily, to communicate more openly, and to trust more deeply. These qualities aren't just beneficial to the relationship, they also strengthen your individual relationship with God. Your growth doesn't only happen in the good times. Often it's in the trials that you learn the most about yourself and about God. When you face hardships together, you begin to see each other in a new light. You learn to lean on each other, not for strength that only comes from yourself, but for strength that comes from God. During those times, God uses the relationship to deepen your faith and to encourage you to rely more fully on Him. Additionally, as you grow spiritually, you will see that your relationship becomes stronger. You are not only becoming a better version of yourself, but you are also learning how to become a better partner. When both individuals in the relationship are growing together in their faith, the relationship becomes a force for good. It becomes a place where God's love and power can be poured into both people and can flow out to those around them. Another powerful sign that your relationship is part of God's plan is the shared vision and purpose that you both have. When two people come together with a common vision that is centered around God's will, there is a powerful energy that propels them forward. This vision doesn't have to be something grand or extraordinary, but it should be aligned with God's greater purpose for your lives. Whether your shared vision is raising a family, serving others, or growing together spiritually, a relationship built on shared purpose will help you stay focused on what truly matters. This shared vision becomes a guiding light during difficult times. When the relationship is centered on a higher calling, you are both able to see beyond the immediate struggles and focus on the bigger picture. It allows you to push through tough times with hope and perseverance because you know that the challenges you face are helping to shape you for something greater. The shared vision helps you remember that your relationship is not just about you and your partner, but is about fulfilling a greater purpose that goes beyond your personal desires. Having a shared purpose also brings a sense of unity to the relationship. It binds you together, not just through your love for one another, but through your shared commitment to God's will. This unity helps you make decisions together, work together, and serve together. The sense of partnership that comes from a shared vision fosters a deep bond, one that strengthens as you both walk through life's ups and downs together. The third sign that your relationship is part of God's plan is the deep, unconditional support you provide for one another. In a relationship centered on God, you support each other's dreams, encourage each other's growth, and help each other when the world seems too heavy to bear. It's not just about romantic love, it's about truly caring for each other's well-being spiritually, emotionally, and physically. The support you give each other should be selfless and without condition, just as God supports and loves us unconditionally. When you're in a relationship that is part of God's plan, you will find that the love you share with each other becomes a reflection of God's love. This love pushes you to lift each other up, to bear each other's burdens, and to encourage one another to be the best version of yourselves. It's in this kind of relationship that you can truly grow, knowing that you are not alone. You have a partner who is there to walk with you through every season of life. No matter how tough things get, you know that the love and support of your partner will see you through, just as God's love for us sees us through our challenges. This mutual support also extends beyond just the two of you. A relationship that is part of God's plan is never just about the two people, and it's about how you can support and serve others together. You will find that as your relationship grows stronger, you both feel a deep sense of purpose in helping others, whether that's through acts of service, prayer, or simply offering encouragement to those around you. God's love is meant to flow through us, and a relationship that is part of His plan will always seek to bless others. The signs are clear that your relationship is in alignment with God's purpose. Peace, growth, shared purpose, and mutual support are not just ideals, they are signs of a relationship that is being guided by a higher power, one that will lead you both to a future filled with joy, purpose, and fulfillment. When these elements are present, you can be confident that you are walking in God's plan. When you are in a relationship that is truly part of God's plan, you will experience an incredible sense of mutual respect and admiration. Respect isn't just about honoring each other's boundaries or valuing each other's opinions. It goes deeper than that. Respect in a relationship rooted in God's purpose means that you see the other person as a reflection of God's image. It means that you honor their worth, not because of what they can do for you, but simply because they are a child of God. This respect forms the bedrock of trust and understanding that holds the relationship together no matter what life throws your way. When both partners respect each other in this way, they are able to communicate openly, honestly, and vulnerably. You understand that each person has unique qualities, strengths, and weaknesses, but you value them for who they are. It's not about trying to change or fix one another. It's about loving and supporting each other as you both grow into the people God has created you to be. This kind of respect also allows room for grace to make mistakes, grace to learn from them, and grace to move forward with forgiveness and understanding. In relationships that are part of God's plan, the foundation of respect extends to how you deal with disagreements. Every relationship will face challenges, but when respect is present, even in the midst of conflict, there is a spirit of kindness, patience, and understanding. You don't need to win an argument or be right. You are more concerned with restoring peace, understanding each other's perspective, and growing together. Mutual respect will enable you to work through any issue without tearing each other down, but instead building each other up in the process. This is a reflection of the kind of love God has for us, unconditional, patient, and full of grace. When you have respect for one another in a relationship, you can have deep conversations about anything. It's a safe space where both individuals feel heard and understood. You can discuss your dreams, fears, hopes, and struggles without fear of judgment. This level of respect cultivates an environment where both partners can be vulnerable, grow, and evolve. It allows for the kind of connection that is rooted in love and nurtured by a shared commitment to God's purpose. A relationship aligned with God's plan will also be marked by mutual joy and encouragement. It's easy to be supportive of your partner when things are going well, but true joy and encouragement come when you can lift each other up even during difficult times. A relationship that is part of God's design will not only encourage you during your victories, but will also stand by you in your struggles. The beauty of this kind of encouragement is that it is not based on the circumstances or outcomes, but on the belief that God is at work, even in the difficult seasons. When you can encourage your partner in their dreams and help them navigate the hard seasons of life, you are living out God's love for them. You are lifting them up, reminding them of their worth, and helping them see their potential. Similarly, when you feel discouraged, a partner who encourages you with love and faith helps you remember that you are not alone. You can press on knowing that you are supported and that God has a plan for both of you. This encouragement helps both individuals become stronger, more resilient, and more focused on fulfilling the purposes God has for them. Encouragement is not just about offering comforting words, it's about actively helping your partner grow in their calling and gifts. A relationship that is part of God's plan will inspire both people to be the best versions of themselves, to pursue their dreams, and to step into the calling God has placed on their lives. Together, you will build each other up, constantly pushing one another to reach new heights of love, faith, and purpose. One of the most powerful signs that your relationship is part of God's plan is that it becomes a source of light and inspiration to others. A relationship that is grounded in God's love doesn't just stay contained within the two people involved. It reaches out to others, showing them what true love and partnership look like. Your relationship becomes a testimony of God's goodness, His faithfulness, and His power to transform lives. It inspires others to seek the same type of love and commitment in their own relationships. When you live your life with God at the center of your relationship, others will notice. They will see the way you treat each other, the way you encourage each other, and the way you respect and support one another. This will draw them to the love of God that is reflected in your relationship. It's not about trying to impress others or seeking validation from the world. It's about shining God's light in everything you do. Your relationship can be a beacon of hope to those who are struggling, showing them that God is at work, even in the most challenging of circumstances. Your relationship becomes a living example of God's love in action. When you love your partner with the same sacrificial love that Christ has shown us, you become a witness to the power of God's love. This love goes beyond just the two of you. It extends to the world around you. Whether through acts of service, encouragement, or simply being an example of unconditional love, your relationship serves as a light to others who may need to see what a Christ-centered relationship looks like. A relationship that is part of God's plan will also be marked by unwavering faith and trust in God's timing. Often in relationships, we want things to happen on our own terms. We want things to move quickly. We want answers, and we want to know what the future holds. But when a relationship is truly aligned with God's purpose, you learn to trust His timing. You know that He is in control and that His plan for your life, both individually and as a couple, is far greater than anything you could ever plan for yourself. This trust in God's timing allows you to wait patiently, trusting that He will bring the right opportunities at the right time. It gives you the strength to endure challenges without rushing through them, knowing that God is using every moment to prepare you for the future. When you trust His timing, you are able to let go of the need to control and instead rest in His perfect plan. This deep trust also strengthens the relationship because both partners are on the same page, trusting that God will lead them and that His timing is always perfect. When you are patient and trusting in God's timing, you will see how He works through your relationship in beautiful and unexpected ways. He will open doors that you never could have imagined, and He will guide you both toward the future He has planned for you. Through this trust, you will find peace, knowing that no matter what, God's plan is unfolding in your life. This faith and trust will help you weather any storm together and will keep you grounded in the assurance that God is always with you. As your relationship grows deeper, it becomes a testimony to the world of God's faithfulness. The way you love, encourage, respect, and trust one another shines as a beacon of hope to those around you. When God is at the center, everything changes. Your relationship becomes a powerful force for good, a light in the darkness, and a reflection of God's love in the world. One of the most beautiful signs that your relationship is part of God's plan is the deep sense of unity that exists between you and your partner. This unity goes beyond merely agreeing on things or having common interests. It is a spiritual connection that binds your hearts together. You both begin to understand that you are stronger together than apart, and this unity empowers you to face life's challenges with unwavering support for each other. It is this unity that enables you to share in each other's joys and sorrows, knowing that no matter what comes, you will be there for each other. The beauty of this unity is that it's not about becoming the same person, but rather about blending your strengths, your dreams, and your individual paths into one shared journey. This unity becomes most evident in the way you support each other through life's transitions. Whether it's moving to a new city, changing jobs, or navigating personal growth, the unity between you both helps provide stability and peace in uncertain times. When God is at the center of your relationship, He knits your hearts together in such a way that the two of you can work in harmony, each bringing something unique to the relationship. This unity is the kind of bond that holds firm even in the most difficult of times. It gives you both the strength to face adversity, knowing that together you are unstoppable. This unity helps to foster a sense of trust and mutual respect. When you are united in purpose, there is a deep trust that builds between you. You are not just relying on each other for emotional support, but also for wisdom and guidance. The decisions you make together are rooted in trust that each partner has the other's best interest at heart. This creates an environment of safety where both of you can be vulnerable and share your deepest fears and desires. You learn to rely on each other's strengths while also supporting each other's weaknesses. This trust is foundational in any healthy relationship, and when God is at the center, it only grows stronger. Another key sign that your relationship is part of God's plan is that you experience a profound sense of purpose together. A relationship that is aligned with God's will is not just about the two of you being happy or fulfilling each other's needs, but it's about fulfilling a greater calling. You both start to realize that you are on a journey together that is meant to impact the world around you. Whether through raising children with love and faith, serving in your community, or pursuing dreams that align with your spiritual gifts, you both begin to see that your relationship serves a greater purpose than simply being together. This shared purpose propels you both forward, keeping you focused on the bigger picture. Even in the midst of life's struggles, knowing that you are working towards a greater goal gives you both the strength and determination to keep going. The challenges you face together no longer seem as daunting when you remember that you are part of something much bigger than yourselves. Your relationship becomes a partnership in fulfilling God's plan for your lives, and that sense of purpose will carry you through both the easy and difficult seasons. When you have a shared sense of purpose, you also begin to experience a deeper level of joy in the relationship. It's no longer just about the happiness you bring to each other, but it becomes about the fulfillment you experience in fulfilling your divine calling together. This joy is not just based on good times or exciting moments, but it is rooted in the deeper satisfaction of knowing that you are walking the path God has laid out for you. It's a joy that comes from knowing that every step you take together is part of a greater plan, one that brings glory to God and makes a difference in the lives of others. Another powerful sign that your relationship is part of God's plan is the way you experience spiritual growth together. When both of you are pursuing a relationship with God and are aligned in your faith, your relationship becomes a place where both of you can grow spiritually. You begin to inspire one another to be more loving, more patient, and more forgiving. Your faith in God deepens, and you encourage each other to become better versions of yourselves. The beautiful thing about spiritual growth in a relationship is that it doesn't just impact you as individuals, but it strengthens the relationship as well. As you both grow closer to God, you also grow closer to one another. Your love for each other is refined and deepened as you learn to see each other through the eyes of compassion, kindness, and understanding. You learn to forgive more easily, to communicate more openly, and to serve each other with a selfless heart. Spiritual growth in a relationship is one of the most powerful ways God can shape you both into the people He has created you to be. In times of difficulty, spiritual growth becomes even more evident. When you face challenges as a couple, you turn to God for wisdom and strength. Your faith allows you to overcome obstacles with grace, knowing that God is using these moments to refine your character and deepen your trust in Him. You support each other through prayer, encouragement, and shared faith, which strengthens your bond and deepens your connection with each other and with God. A relationship that is part of God's plan will also be characterized by a spirit of service and sacrifice. In the world, relationships are often centered around personal desires and needs, but in a relationship built on God's purpose, it is about serving and supporting each other. You are not in the relationship to receive, but to give. You both begin to realize that true love is selfless. It is putting the needs of your partner before your own and choosing to serve them with an open heart. This spirit of service transforms the way you interact with each other. You start to look for ways to support and encourage each other in tangible ways. Whether it's helping with chores, offering words of encouragement, or simply being there when your partner needs to talk, you serve each other out of love. This attitude of service creates an environment of mutual respect and care, where both individuals feel valued and appreciated. It fosters a deep sense of gratitude for each other, and it allows your relationship to grow in a healthy, nurturing way. This spirit of sacrifice also teaches you to put the needs of the relationship first. In a world that often encourages self-centeredness, choosing to serve one another is an act of true love. It requires patience, humility, and a willingness to put aside personal desires for the greater good of the relationship. But in doing so, you will find that you both experience a deeper sense of fulfillment, knowing that your relationship is grounded in a love that is unselfish and pure. A relationship that is part of God's plan will be marked by a sense of peace and security. This peace comes from knowing that you are both following God's leading and trusting in His timing. You have confidence that even when things are difficult, God is at work in your relationship, guiding you both towards a brighter future. There is a deep assurance that no matter what life throws your way, you will face it together with God's help. This peace also gives you the ability to rest in God's plan, knowing that He is in control. You are not anxious about the future, nor are you worried about the challenges ahead. Instead, you trust that God is orchestrating everything according to His will, and you find comfort in the knowledge that He is always with you. This peace helps you navigate life's ups and downs with grace, and it gives you the strength to endure anything that comes your way. A relationship rooted in peace will also allow both of you to experience a deeper sense of joy and fulfillment. When you are at peace with each other and with God, you are free to love, serve, and grow without fear or anxiety. This peace creates a safe space for your relationship to flourish, and it enables you to build a future together that is grounded in faith. And TR, when a relationship is truly part of God's plan, it is characterized by love, respect, mutual growth, shared purpose, and an unwavering trust in God's timing. The signs of this divine alignment are unmistakable unity that strengthens and supports you both, a deeper sense of purpose that transcends personal desires, spiritual growth that nurtures both partners, a spirit of service and sacrifice that keeps the relationship selfless, and a profound peace that comes from knowing you are following God's lead. These qualities create a strong foundation that can withstand the tests of time and the challenges life brings. As you move forward in any relationship, remember that the presence of these signs is a reflection of God's perfect plan at work. When you allow Him to be at the center, your relationship will not only bring fulfillment and joy to your lives, but it will also serve as a beacon of His love to the world around you. No matter the obstacles or challenges that may arise, with God's guidance, you and your partner will continue to grow together, fulfilling His purpose and embracing the beauty of His plan for both of your lives. Trust that He is at work in your relationship, shaping it into something greater than you could ever imagine.